Lately, there's been a lot of buzz about gay marriage, and many of you might be aware of the many protests that are going on here in California in opposition to the passing of Proposition 8. Now, I'm not gay, so I really don't care about the affairs of gays and lesbians. And I really do think that marriage isn't what it used to be. It's not as important as it used to be, at least. However, I do think that prohibiting a particular group of people from doing something that anyone else can do is just plain evil. Nonetheless, it is only obvious to me that the end result of all this madness is that the government will have to step up in its role as a secular institution and rule in favor of equality for all people. We are ruled by laws that are meant to govern all citizens fairly and equally. Religion is under no obligation to this, as it is well understood among religious practitioners that homosexuality is an abomination before God. And so the right of churches to not marry gays and lesbians should still be observed. Thankfully, the Bible is not what governs the United States of America. But in the future, if two men or two women wish to commit to each other in marriage, they should be allowed to go to City Hall or the county or a friendly church and get married. The second part of this vlog is a response to the high-handed moral superiority that often accompanies the practitioners of any religious faith, really. In a number of discussions I've had with strangers, friends, and family, the central message I get for their reasoning to ban gay marriage is it's religious, of course. People say it's a sin or that they have the Bible on their side. While that is technically true from a religious perspective, I'd like to point out that the biggest factor in their belief toward gays isn't the Bible, but the ability of certain people, like their pastors, to read passages in the Bible and use those passages to convey the message that they want to tell. If people really wanted to use the Bible as a guide to morality, then they should think slavery is okay. They shouldn't just be focusing on gay marriage, they should be focusing on gay execution. Upon hearing that I am a non-believer, the devout Bible thumper should take it upon himself to kill me. If a man should find that his wife is not a virgin on his wedding day, a true believer should have no qualms about taking his wife to her father's doorstep and killing her right there. All of these moral prescriptions are found right next to those passages in Leviticus and Deuteronomy that modern-day pastors use to condemn homosexuality. Now, a lot of people will then fall back to the New Testament, and I would argue that those people who claim to follow the New Testament still do not follow what Jesus says. Jesus himself never said anything about gay people. Only Paul did. And, Paul was a bigot. He hated Jews, he didn't respect women, and he was basically nuts. Jesus said that if you want everlasting life, then you should become one of his disciples. And how do you become a disciple? Well, you have to sell everything, or give up everything that you own. If you'll recall, Jesus only had a robe and sandals. Nobody follows Jesus' advice, and yet his advice is more noble than Paul's. If you have a nice house, a nice TV, expensive furniture, well, you're just not following Jesus' advice. You're not a disciple of him. You're a disciple of Paul, maybe. If you are focusing on the family, well, you're not focusing on Jesus' message. My main point is that you religious people are doing nothing but cherry-picking the Bible. When you read the Bible and choose the golden rule over God's commandments, or when you choose the golden rule over God's commandment to kill a child who talks back to you, you're using your own moral intuition that has been shaped by thousands of years of dialogue. We, in 2008, do not have the same Bronze and Iron Age tribal morality that once permeated the biblical world. When we live in a world where we choose what is right and wrong in the Bible, then it is only obvious that the Bible isn't a guide to morality. Rather, it is our own minds that are the guide to our morality. Keep it reasonable out there, guys.